Holley's carb cleaner. Oh, brake parts cleaner. This won't work for this job. Today I've got a Holley 4412. This is a 500 CFM 2-barrel, and we're gonna go through it and I'll show you a few things. I've already taken it apart most of the way. I have a metering block here in my hand. All it has left in it is the power valve. So you can find the proper size wrench, or you can use a crescent, and just be gentle that you're not marring up the metering block itself. Normal threads, power valve. If you're doing this at home and you're doing it for a hot rod or something that you've been running before, it's important to take note of the power valve and what size it actually is, so that way when you replace it with same size. So this one is stamped a 5.0. Now we have the main jets, and I have a jet extractor tool. That's what we're gonna call this, Holley jet extractor tool. Anyway, I have this. It's just basically a screwdriver. Yes, a big flat bladed screwdriver will work. Just be careful with it. So just gonna do those. Also, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So jets are out. The only thing left on this guy is the idle mixture screws. There's one here and there's one here. So we're gonna take those out. Okay, and this one pulled out the cork gasket with it. This one did not, so you can either use a little baby screwdriver for it or a pick tool. But that guy right there is as disassembled as I'm going to take it. Set that aside. Our base plate really is good. I'm not going to take anything off this. The accelerator pump cam is already off, so I'll have to replace that. But that guy there is ready to go. All right, to the main body. Let's see here. I think I've removed everything off of it. The only thing you'll have is your accelerator pump nozzle. Right down inside is where your accelerator pump, right in the center. One Phillips screw, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Take it out. There will be a needle underneath that. Go ahead and just kind of turn it upside down. It should fall out. That's something else I'll have to replace. So then on to the float bowl. We have the accelerator pump diaphragm assembly, the pump assembly. So take these 4 screws out. And I mean, it's important to keep all this stuff. The rebuild kit that I buy will come with all new fasteners and things, so I'm not super concerned about it. And this carburetor is really old and crusty, so I'm pretty well replacing most everything, other than the hard parts. So you can just grab the pump arm, pop that off. Diaphragm is definitely trashed, and the spring. This little red flapper valve, if you don't put that in, it will cause you grief. So we're going to be replacing that. So now I'm going to pull our float out. There's 2 screws inside. They are crusty in there. Take the needle and seat out first. So once again, you could use the proper size wrench. You could use the wrench that's always the proper size. Always until it's not. We'll put it that way. So needle and seat, float, and that bowl. Whoop. Not quite ready. Take this guy. And this one I might actually, hey, some nice guy like myself already loosened that, so. Anyway, got that, comes with filter. Probably won't put that back in. And the spring for the filter. So, and while you're at it, sight plug. Also loose. May have previously worked on this, you never know. So, that is an empty hollow shell. Okay, so I am the tote guy, so when I'm carrying things to the cleaner, when I say the cleaner, at home you can use a gallon jug of carb clean. That's really good for these. It's very handy to have around the shop. I have a giant ultrasonic cleaner from Ultrasonics LLC, and we use the crap out of it. So on something like this, that's where it's going to go, and it's the best thing for it. So when I'm going to carry this stuff back there, I'm going to put it in this tote. Now with all this stuff that I deem trash or not something that I'm going to clean right now because I don't need it, I'm going to put it in another tote. Reason being is if you drop something, you might need it. Let's say you don't drop something, but the jet sizes are changed, or you don't remember what size power valve you have, then you want somewhere to reference that. So I'm going to keep all of these little parts and pieces until this carburetor is back together and I'm satisfied with that. So I'll set those off to the side, put them down there. If I don't put them in the floor, I'll probably knock them in the floor. So now I'm going to go clean these carburetor parts. All right, so we've got our carburetor, our hard parts is what I call these hard parts, clean. Our base plate, our metering block, which I still need to clean the rest of that gasket, and float bowl, and our main body. So, and it also has a gasket on it, which, get that off. So, you can take a razor blade usually and just gently shave, because you don't want to actually remove material. Carburetor gaskets can be a real pain. Ah. All right. Same way with this, we're just gonna. Okay. I'm gonna go blow some air through all this because I just put carburetor gasket back into it. So anytime I'm putting anything together, I do everything in steps. So, you know, this is a step, this is a step, this is a step, and this has most of the crap on it already. I get each step assembled, then I put the whole assembly together, just to kind of make things a little easier for myself and to keep things straight and organized. If you don't understand how Holley works, or you want to know more, this is a basic book. I'll link to it in the description below. This is a good basic book. It's old. This is an accelerator pump. Hey, what's that going there? Accelerator pump nozzle set. Great tuning tool if you're going to be at the track, on the dyno, whatever. Something handy to have. Also, something handy to have is a jet kit. So, all I need. Yeah. So let's build this thing. I've got a kit here from AD, and it comes with everything. When I say everything, this is why I threw the bolts and screws away, because I ordered this kit. Yes, it cost a little bit more, but they are so shiny when they are done. So we're going to take our metering block, and our Holley jet extractor tool is now our Holley jet installation tool. So it just pilots there in the center. It's got a little blade, and you can screw it right in there. So these do not need to be torqued to 5,000 foot-pounds like some of you animals think. Okay, just be calm. All right, power valve. This is a 4.5. Once the carburetor's on the car, the engine's in the car, and you get to run it a little bit, these are all things you want to tune with. This is just a good starting point, so that's what we're going to go with. So, take our always correct size wrench here, and we'll just give it a little snug life. Now, what else do we need? We need idle mixture screws. There and there. Little teeny tiny O-rings. Take those, drop them in there, and I either use a pick tool or a screwdriver idle mixture screw hole, idle mixture screw hole with O-ring. So it's going to take a little bit of pressure down as you screw this in, and then once you feel that it's in the threads and taking, just screw it all the way down until it bottoms out. There, it bottomed out. Now, did you all see me use the torque wrench to hit that? Nope. Please don't do that also. So bottomed out, we're going to go half, 1, half. So 1.5 turns out is also usually a good starting point. That, my friends, is an assembly complete. Let's put this little red flapper in. See the little ball? So our little red flapper is now installed beautifully. Take that fancy tool out that every guy should have in his toolbox. Scissors. And we're just going to cut the tip of that off. Just the tip now. On this, I'm going to put a 30cc accelerator pump kit on. AED number 5570. All you have to do, drop a spring in the hole. It's going to sit in there, located properly. Accelerator pump. Alright. So these I'm just going to get a barely start on. I'm holding it down as I enter the screws. My screw installation tool. So, once again, all you really strong men out there, this doesn't need to be torqued crazy tight. Just think, when you're torquing something really aggressively, ridiculously tight, you're warping this housing and probably also this housing. Haven't seen it much here. Have seen it a lot here. And it really shows up across here. No one likes a leaky carburetor. We're going to put our sight glass with its gasket. It's usually a little metal flat washer. So we're just going to stick it on there. Change our Ninja screwdriver back. I'm going to put the float in this. So for this, I have bought a Peroso wedge style circle track float kit. This is a 65432. Also link in the description. 2 little holes at the top. That's where these screws go. So our little float bowl screws. So we drop those in. Since there's 2, we're going to make sure we get them both started first. Okay, so we got our float now. So we're going to put our gasket on here. We're going to screw this down. And as we do it upside down, we'll show you where your fuel level is going to be. But as you can tell, you can screw this in. It goes down. Screw it back out. We're going to screw it back out, and there's where it is. So then we put our screw on top. And we cinch that down. You see me give that one a little extra torque? I did. Sure did. Once again, if you don't understand how a Holley carburetor works, that's okay. You can still do this job. It's really not that big of a deal. If you don't know how to work on it, you probably have an uncle that does. That's what I'm getting at. Or Papa. Maybe like Aunt Sally. She probably knows. Also, this book super handy. Put your safety glasses on, because if you spray this and it gets in your eyes, it will hurt. So if you don't know where a hole goes, oh, See, that's why we wear safety glasses. If you don't know where a hole goes, that just shot me in the shirt. Just spray a little carb cleaner in there. If you're cleaning this at home, that's a good way to clean. The needle valve that I was talking about is this little guy. Drop that in there. Accelerator pump nozzle. This is 5431 because this is a 31 size squirter or nozzle. My rebuild kit comes with a screw. When they're brand new, they are usually a Holley sends a 28 on these. So that tells you where you're at, where you're going. You just sit that on there on that hole where the needle valve was and screw that little dude in there. Alright, make sure it's good and straight. Good and straight. Alright, we're going to take our base plate and put it together. 1 is going to line up with number 1 hole, and 2 will line up with 2 hole, just if you want to change the timing of when your cam comes in. I'm going to put it on number 1. Once again, it's a good baseline. Now it is time to get the base gasket. Find the one that fits, put it on there properly. You want to make sure that you're not covering up any holes that need to be covered or that don't need to be covered. This guy. That hole there, if you put the gasket on wrong, will cover that hole. So let's flip it around right. And the gasket will line up in all the holes. Screw holes will all be okay. That hole will be uncovered. So I'm going to change this idle screw. When you're adjusting this, you want to make sure your idle slots are just barely showing and nothing past that. If you look over here, you can see our slot, but then if you go too far, you'll see that other passage. And if you expose that at idle, this thing will be a blubbery piece of junk. We have our gasket lined up. We're going to put our base plate on. This goes to the rear. So, hold it just like so. Line up your gasket, line up your holes. Drop your screws in. So we have the base plate now on. This is a good time to go. Alright, let's make sure our throttle works and doesn't bind on anything. It's a good idea to put a little drop of oil, not motor oil, like a gun oil, something really thin that's slick, and leave lubricating on the throttle shafts. 2 gaskets left. So we're going to take our main body, and power valve goes in, and the gasket only goes on one way because of these dowels. And it will also align on the dowels once you... This is a vent whistle, is what we call it, because it looks like a little tiny whistle. And it goes right in here. So the vent whistle we put in there just to prevent fuel slosh. Now is when we're going to test fit our accelerator pump. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to bring it up from below, twist, stick. So drop those in. The reason I use the cheapest screwdriver possible is because 1, I'm irresponsible. 2, these are awesome. Now we have our carburetor. Cool. Alright, so this is our carburetor. We've got it all done. A couple times you still want to make sure that your full travel is okay. The only other thing that I want to note is that this carburetor, this hole right here, and if you see that and you pull the choke out, because everybody wants to be a race car driver, so removing the choke is pretty common. This hole needs to be plugged. You definitely want to do that, because if not, you're just going to suck dirt right into that hole, bypass your air filter, and ruin your race car engine. So that is our Holley 4412. If you have any other suggestions on videos you'd like to see, things that you'd like to see us do in the shop, just let us know. Thanks a lot.